$4 billion. That's how much Disney spent on this godforsaken franchise, only to fuck it up again. How? How does a multi-billion-dollar fucking corporation fuck this up so badly? The Last Jedi cost $317 million. So imagine how much they spent on this dumpster fire. Now at the time of recording this, it is 5:24 AM. It's the 19th of the 12th, 2009. I'm in the UK. I saw this on opening night. I was one of the first people on the fucking planet to see this, and oh my god, I am in so much pain. This is worse than The Last Jedi. This is worse than Game of Thrones Season 8. This is the worst thing I have seen this decade, and it is painful. And I can't honestly blame J.J. Abrams for this fuck up, because it's not his fault. Can I even blame the bastard himself, Ryan Roundhead Johnson, for this? Maybe I should look at Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy, at how atrocious this once great franchise has become. There was no substance. The majority of the things in there were spectacle, and even the spectacle was shit. And I have some inside knowledge as to what was actually happening on this set, as some of my friends were on this set. One of my friends did some scenes with Daisy Ridley, and from what I hear, Daisy Ridley actually cannot act. I was wrong all this time. She doesn't have any acting abilities, it seems. Yeah, Doomcock's not the only one with insiders. I have some too. You better fucking subscribe. I quote, "On set, Daisy seemed like an entitled prick. John," who's John Boyega I assume, "was really cool, but kept fucking up his lines. Now I know why. The script was shit." End quote. So yeah, Daisy cannot act. You can't even blame the direction. Mad. And can I blame J.J. Abrams? Well, yeah, I can actually. He's been paid up the fucking arse, he should probably figure out, shouldn't he? But the thing is, I saw how much they tried to cram into this. They tried to make everything so impactful, but the thing is, they just brushed over everything so quickly. Whether it be certain characters' deaths, I'll go over the plot of the story and how crap it is in a minute, but certain characters dying, he just brushed over them. Certain plot points that were really key to the story, well, if you can call it a fucking story, all just brushed over quickly, super quickly. There's no time for it to take effect because they're just trying to rush it. Remember, this film is 2.5 hours long. They don't have a lot of time. So they just try to force it in, force everything in. Spectacle. Look at this beautiful thing. Oh, this ship, that ship. Oh, nice. Lightsaber. Oh. And what for? For fucking nothing. That's what. So I'm going to attempt to recap this thing I'm really trying to forget. So that you don't have to. So the entire film begins with Kylo Ren in his tie going to some planet in the unknown regions where Palpatine is. Fucking you, straight off the bat they introduce Palpatine. "I made Snoke and every voice in your head." No fucking build up. Literally the first thing in the film is Palpatine out of fucking nowhere. With no build up in the previous film, they just shove him fucking in there. It's like a fist in the arse, I swear to God. And they had all these Snoke-looking clones as well. It's fuck. They just forced it all in. So that's the backstory to Snoke. Snoke is some sort of creation, maybe of Sith alchemy, by Palpatine and his whatever the fucks. Whoa! Then the next scene just pisses me the fuck off. It's essentially Poe, Finn, and some other blokes in a Millennium Falcon flying around and doing some just phenomenally stupid shit that breaks previously established. I'm not even getting into this shit again. Basically, they're being chased by TIE fighters, and then they are doing quick, uncalculated hyperspace jumps from location to next location, and the TIE fighters are literally on their tail the entire time. So they're literally hyperdriving at the same time. It's so rushed, and it breaks everything that's happened in the past, whether it be the Clone Wars, Rebels, the films. It shows that you can just hyperdrive like that, and there's nothing that can stop you. No need to calculate any routes. You just jump, then carry on fighting, then jump again. They jumped like 7 fucking times. What the fuck? Now the next scene, Leia is training Rey in the Force, because Leia, out of nowhere, learned how to fucking use the Force, and we didn't need to know that in The Force Awakens or The Last Jedi, didn't we? my god. Oh. And of course she pulls out this Skywalker lightsaber that was fucking destroyed in the last film, but who cares for consistency anymore? So it turns out that that entire mission with the fucking 7 hyperspace jumps was for them to find out plans from a spy. And that spy, who definitely obviously doesn't get hinted in the next fucking scene with the First Order, tells them that they are going to the unknown regions in a planet called Exegol, or what the fuck it was called. And apparently, Palpatine is back. Oh. And you know what fucking pains me with this scene is how just undamaged, unfazed everyone there is by the fact that the fucking Dark Lord of the Sith is still alive. And none of them think to ask, how the hell did he die? People say, but he's dead. That must be wrong. It's a trap. No, it's not. It's really fucking not. He's still alive. Oh my god. Alright, so this next bit of the scene is then basically them establishing that Luke knew where Exegol is somehow, so Rey's in some book looking and she reads that fucking Exegol was Luke's mission and stuff, so the Hermit was actually doing some shit and it only needs to get revealed now because plot. Oh god. So later on, a quote is said and it's, Rey, never be afraid of who you are. Because who knows who she is? Yeah, that definitely didn't get fucking revealed. Oh my god, if you didn't read the leaks and you're watching this, you're gonna be in for such a fucking treat. Oh, goodness, my fucking... Oh, I need to sit back. My back hurts. Now, this next scene, they essentially just repair Kylo Ren's helmet. He walks around looking all menacing, not really. There's also a meeting with all the First Order operators, leaders, whatever. And essentially, literally, they focus on Hux when Kylo reveals the fact that there's been a mole and what are we meant to not know? Like, it's like JJ wants us to know, or he doesn't and he's just being fucking stupid. So... fucking terrible. And then there's obviously this bit where they all start rambling and then Kylo does the Force choke. They have the Force choke sound from fucking Star Wars The Clone Wars. They're in this as well. And then they walk off to the festival planet in the next scene and this is so horrible. Alright. In this next scene, yeah, it's the festival's like carnival whatever thing from the trailers. I'm sure you've seen it, and it's just terrible. It's so terrible. It's just filler. This bloke is rushing the film, but he has times for fucking aliens having a festival for some reason. What the hell, JJ? Oh my god, you know you fucked up so badly. Like they even have this thing where Rey ends up talking to one of the alien people, and C-3PO, being the annoying twat he is in this, starts translating for him, and she finds out the alien's name, and then the alien is like, what's your name in the fucking language? And Rey's just like, I'm just Rey. Oh god. And then the alien gives Rey a necklace to wear because they've bonded, and then trigger the Force Skype call with Kylo Ren. And Rey's necklace gets torn off by Kylo, and it fucking teleports. And remember this shit, because it's gonna haunt the story later. Now, skipping ahead, Lando makes an appearance by saving the crew from a stormtrooper who finds them. Lando. And then guess what? Lando knows the mission to find the Wayfinder. Lando knows the mission, but no one else does. Oh, God. So then there's a massive chase scene. There's a fucking plane flying over it. I'm not editing this out. Then there's a chase scene where they... because Poe can fucking hijack speeder bikes. And please fucking remember this shit, because it will also haunt the story later. Poe can hack into speeder bikes, or hotwire essentially, and things like, how do you know that? How do you know how to do that? Is there something you're not telling me about you? And this is gonna come into play later, just wait. But they have a chase scene, and then it turns out that the stormtroopers that are chasing them on the back of the speeders jump off and they fly. And Finn says this: "They fly now?" Finn, An ex-stormtrooper is like, the stormtroopers can fly? As if none of them have had training. So he has no idea that his colleagues can use fucking jetpacks. The stormtrooper doesn't know this. What the fuck? Oh, and also before I forget, Leia said in the briefing scene, never underestimate a droid. So what does Rey do during this chase scene? Never underestimate a droid, because I'm like the Skywalkers and I'm Rey and I'm too powerful, I think. Remember this. It will haunt the film later. So yeah, then there's a death scene, well, fake death scene I should say, where they all crash and they all land in quicksand and they all sink and everyone thinks they're dead. Not really, no one fucking fell for that shit. People were fucking laughing in the cinema. But anyway, they emerge at the bottom in some cave and then they wander through the cave only to find the exact thing they're fucking looking for. And it's some, like, I don't know if it's a ship or a speeder or something, but they find a dagger with Sith writing on it because, why not, I guess. But that's exactly what they're looking for. The fucking convenience. And then Rey touches it and then she starts to get visions like the main character from Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, because why not? She's super powerful, could do anything. And then a giant snake comes out of fucking nowhere and scares the shit out of them. And because it can sense Rey's plot armor, it just stands there looking at her. And what does she do? She sees a wound on it and she uses fucking force heal to repair the serpent so that it goes away. She force heals the snake with her own life essence. And also does her best to explain it to us why she did it, as if it's not going to come to play later on in the film. So remember this. It will haunt the film later. Later on, they go outside to go to the ship that they saw earlier that belonged to the guy who they believed to have the Force dagger that they found earlier. And guess what? Rey senses something, probably Kylo, so she goes for a walk. Chewbacca goes to find her. Chewbacca gets captured by the First Order. Chewbacca gets put into First Order shuttle. First Order shuttle flies away. Meanwhile, Rey does that stupid thing from the trailer where she runs, jumps and slices Kylo Ren's TIE fighter wing off. And he crashes and survives the crash even though it's a massive explosion. Then Rey tries to grab the ship holding Chewbacca and pull it back. And Kylo does the same thing. And then they fight over the shuttle. Then Rey uses Force Lightning and destroys the ship. Force Lightning! Remember this. It will haunt the film later. So Chewbacca is believed to be dead. And then in the next scene, it is revealed that he survived. He was on another fucking shuttle. And what's hilarious is that Poe and Finn are just like, it's okay, we're still with you, despite them fucking bitch using Force Lightning to take out Chewbacca. They don't give a fuck about him. They don't give a fuck about him. Oh, well, okay. But anyway, fast forward, they go to a place called Kijimi. A random woman pulls a blaster on Poe as they maneuver through it. Turns out they have a history. And it turns out that Poe was a spice runner. Because useful information is only revealed when the plot fucking demands it. And that explains why he knew how to hotwire a speeder. Oh. Imagine waiting till the final film to start giving information on the main characters. Imagine. So the First Order is there raping, pillaging, scaring the civilian population. Azuri thinks of turning them all into the Empire's snowtroopers. Then Rey fucks them up and she joins them. It just literally like that. She's like, perhaps we should turn you in. Then Rey starts kicking the shit out of them, pulls out the lightsaber on Azuri. And then all of a sudden Azuri joins them, like, just out of the blue. For no fucking reason. Yeah, I help you, Poe, even though I tried to kill you earlier. What the fuck is wrong with that? And then they find out that in order for them to be able to translate what the Sith dagger says, they need to wipe 3PO's memory. And this is when his eyes turn red. Then there's this thing where he says, taking one last look at my friends. Yes, me, C-3PO, who's known you guys for like 3 hours, are my close friends, and I'm going to look at you as I get my memory wiped. Remember this. It will haunt the film later. Again. Red C-3PO then tells them to go to Endor. You can imagine what will happen. Then after the memory wipe, Rey senses Chewbacca. Now bear in mind, she wasn't able to sense him not being on the ship, but can sense him on the Star Destroyer that is a lot higher in the air. consistency. Then Azuri and Poe start fucking bonding because, you know, they wanted to kill each other earlier. Now they're best friends again, with a hint of a love interest between them. Not so subtle. She gives Poe a medallion that apparently belongs to the captain of a First Order, whatever the fuck. And then that helps them in their escapade to rescue Chewbacca and get the dagger. Because they can now use that as like a code for them to be able to get safe passage onto the ship. And it works! So they sneak in. Rey goes to find the dagger while the rest of them go and find Chewbacca. But before this, Rey does a mind trick that has some comedic value. And this was probably some of the only laughs I heard in the film. But it wasn't really that funny either. But regardless, Poe gets shot and the crew get arrested. Rey then sees Vader's helmet melted on the table and eventually recovers the dagger. Before Kylo forces another Force Skype chat. And in this one, some key information, because it seems the third film is when you start telling people about the characters in the film. Turns out that Rey's parents sold her to protect her. And I swear to God, if you could see Daisy Ridley's cry face, oh, it looked like the Charlie Brown frown. That's what she looks like when she cries. And it's confirmed, this girl cannot act at all. You'll see other actors in this entire film crying. John Boyega, prime example. John Boyega is a solid actor. But Daisy, love, it's just not going well for you. You're lucky you made fucking millions from this, I tell you, love. But anyway, it turns out that you can actually fight people through fucking Skype calls. And guess what also happens? Yes, this fight actually breaks into physicality as Rey breaks Vader's helmet stand, revealing her position to Kylo Ren, who then tries to lock down the ship before Hux, who was the traitor and we definitely didn't see this coming, allows them to escape. And he does this because he hates Kylo Ren. Whoa, what the fuck? So bang, straight into the next scene, it reveals that Rey is Sheev Palpatine's granddaughter. They actually did it. Now I'm gonna say right here, so far, every fucking leak, as far as I can tell, is accurate. Just keep that in mind. Nearly every fucking one of these leaks were correct. Doomcock's source was correct. The sources on Reddit were correct. My mates who worked on the film were correct. The vast majority of the leaks, the major ones that I can think of that I know about, are all correct. Anyway, General Pryde realizes who the traitor is and kills Hux literally straight away. Should have killed him the last fucking episode. Then straight after we go to Endor and the Death Star is fucking there. Just like in the trailer, folks. So you're not surprised about this, but Jesus Christ, it wasn't any less painful to see. The Death Star that got pretty much obliterated in the fucking film in episode 6 is somehow intact. And listen, just listen to this. Rey uses the fucking Sith blade, somehow realizes that she needs to pull the edge of the fucking blade so that she can fucking see that the thing that comes out of it matches the shape of the Death Star fucking ruins. What the fuck? Are they fucking serious? Then this random girl comes to help. Her name's Jaina. Definitely not going to be a love interest to Finn later on. Oh, and she's an ex-stormtrooper that deserted. Oh my god, they're serious, aren't they? Anyway, Rey takes this little boat thing called the Skimmer to the Death Star. Poe's a dick and fucking tries not to help. I'm assuming in a move to make Finn look better and make her look worse. Very inconsistent. Then you learn once fucking Rey gets in there that the entire throne room survived, including the rooms. All the rooms survived. It exploded, but it all survives now. What? Oh my god. Remember this. It will haunt you later. And then Rey finds the Rey Finder. And it literally mirrors the scene in episode 5 where Luke goes into the Force Cave on Dagobah. And this is where we see Darth Rey in the vision with her fucking Swiss Army lightsaber that looks like Pong Krell's lightsaber, but fucking shit. And then Kylo appears out of nowhere. Force pulls the Wayfinder to his hand and then destroys it in his hand, turning Rey ever so closely to the dark side, nearly killing Finn in the process when she Force pushes him away to save him maybe. Or just be a fucking cunt, who knows, maybe both. That's what happens. And then Leia senses this fight, making her ill, similar to Yoda in episode 6. More parallels. And oh my god, they use so many reverse grips in this fucking lightsaber fight over the fucking water in the Death Star. They are not Ahsoka Tano. Can they stop using this force grip thing with the reverse handle like they know how to do it? Because the choreography in this entire production is shit. Scheiße. Short. Mierda. Not worth it. Don't do it. Don't think you're Ahsoka. Stop trying to bring parallels from the fucking Clone Wars show into this. Don't fucking tarnish another show, because even The Mandalorian is going downhill, but I'm going off on a fucking tangent now because I'm pissed. Anyway, Leia Force Skypes. Yes, Leia. And it allows Rey to stab Kylo as Leia dies in her thing back in the fucking forest planet that they're on. Not Yavin, I doubt it, but wherever the fuck they are, Leia dies. Rip. And then guess what happens? Fuck's sake. Rey does... Remember the thing I said about the serpent being force healed? Yes, Rey fucking does that to the wound in his fucking stomach that she just put in him. What the fuck? And then Kylo just lies there like a fucking lemon. Like he just smoked the fucking dankest spliff in his fucking life. And allows her to walk to his fucking TIE and fly. Yes, she takes fucking Kylo Ren's TIE fighter. And then she flies towards fucking Ahch-To. Not even the Unknown Regions planet, but Ahch-To. And I bet you can tell why. And then guess what else happens? Fucking Han Solo appears in the vision, or if he's a Force Ghost, I don't know. But this happens. And they have this touching conversation. What is this fucking power? Why are they doing visions like this? Oh my god, this is so stupid. And they try so hard to be all emotional, but I was laughing. The people in the crowd, in the audience with me were laughing. It was just not fun. It was just not fun at all. Oh, alright, moving on. Palpatine orders Pride to go to the fucking Unknown Regions to meet up with the rest of the fucking fleet of like Imperial Star Destroyers from the trailer, because that definitely wasn't spoiled for us, was it? Then they used the fucking Death Star tech laser things on the Star Destroyers to destroy Kijimi. Yes, they just destroyed Kijimi, and the way they did it was so fucking rushed. Remember in The Force Awakens, they at least tried to put some emotional impact to when they were destroying the planets. Not in this, folks. No, they literally just destroyed it and moved to the fucking next scene as if it was fucking nothing. So millions, probably billions of people, aliens, whatever, died. And then they go straight to the next scene where Poe and Lando are fucking bonding as if it's fucking nothing. As if millions and billions of people didn't just get fucking obliterated by a laser. What the fuck? No emotions, no substance, no parallels to Alderaan even. That would have somewhat done something. There was this little one thing when they talk about how Kijimi is dead, and then they just brush off again, like it means nothing, that this planet was destroyed. What? What? Then Rey, in the next scene, is just destroying the TIE fighter that she took. She's just throwing wood at it for some stupid reason. Because she's emotional. Maybe she's on her period, I don't fucking know. Oh, Rey's just a conundrum. And guess what? She then decides, maybe I should throw this lightsaber that belonged to Anakin Skywalker right into the fire. And who fucking catches it? Luke Skywalker's Force Ghost. Yes, they're actually doing this again, where the Force Ghost can interfere with the physical fucking realm. What? If you can interfere, why not go and fucking stab Palpatine? The cunt's still on life support. Perfect time to do it. Where's the logic? They are consistently destroying every fabric of consistent law, consistent risks. What's the word I'm looking for? Stakes. Destroying everything for their fucking spectacle. And even that fails miserably. What? They don't give a fuck, do they? So it turns out that Leia knew Rey was a Palpatine all along. Don't ask why. It's just what, you don't need to know who your father or your grandfather is. No, that's unnecessary. No. You just be you. Be left in your emotional state where you don't know yourself. Yeah. That's definitely not going to end badly. It's definitely not going to turn into the fucking dark side, is it? No. But yeah, we also learned that Leia also did some training. They do a vision, because, you know, visions are the cheapest form of exposition. And yeah, they exposed that she did training. She had her own lightsaber and stuff, you know? Pretty nice. And then Luke says this: 1,000 generations live in you now. More fucking callbacks, this time to the fucking trailer. And then, no, this annoys me. This as well. This next bit. Luke, obviously, she doesn't have a ship, so what does Luke do? He uses the Force to pull out his own X-Wing. It would have probably given more validity to the situation if Rey did it, but no, she doesn't know how to do that. All of a sudden, she's weak, so Luke uses the Force, and it actually shows him lifting his hand, because he fucking needs to lift his hand despite being the fucking Force Ghost, and he uses the Force to fucking pull out the lightsaber, and then that's what she uses to fucking fly. Bang. Oh, so back at the fucking forest planet that they're on, turns out R2 can give 3PO his memories back. Yeah, that definitely wasn't fucking pointed out in the leaks, was it? But yeah, it was. And then, as they're planning, one of the people mentioned the Holdo maneuver as a method of destroying the Star Destroyers, or whatever the fuck they were talking about. Yes, they bring up the Holdo maneuver, and then someone says the Holdo maneuver is 1 in a million. So that one thing that destroyed the consistency in Star Wars The Last Jedi is apparently a 1 in a million thing, so that apparently doesn't work all the time. So that's Jada's way of saying, you can't do this all the time, guys, so it didn't really destroy the film, you fucking tosser. Really? And I can't even blame him, it's Ryan's fault. What the fuck, JJ? Oh my god. Kathleen Kennedy, you fucked up. But anyway, moving on. So they get ready to fly off to the unknown regions because they know where to go. They trace the X-Wing that belongs to Luke Skywalker because he's still connected. So it apparently is able to be traced now. It couldn't be traced in the first fucking film when they were looking for Luke Skywalker, but whatever. Oh, god damn it. But yeah, there are wirings in this fucking fleet. So yes, keep that in mind. There are wirings here, despite them using the fucking stuff, whatever the fuck, those Sky Fortress bombers that they had in the fucking second film, because fucking Rian Johnson wants to imitate World War fucking II bombers. Yeah, turns out you didn't need them when you had the fucking Y-Wings. Fucking Minch, what the fuck? So eventually they arrive, and turns out there's like actually fucking 1,000 Star Destroyers with the fucking Death Star lasers things on it. So there's so fucking many. Oh my god. And I think they're all remote controlled. So they're like droid ships almost, but they need to be controlled by a nav computer, like the super battle droids or something. So what they do is they plan a ground invasion to intercept the nav antennae that's on the ground. But then what Pride does is he notices this, and then he switches control to his ship, so the bigger Star Destroyer, which belongs to the First Order, I assume. And then they have to change the mission where they have to destroy that. And do you know how this is found out? Finn senses it. So Finn's Force sensitive, guys. That's how you know. So they do the ground attack on the Star Destroyer, and that scene, you've probably seen it in the second trailer, where they're all running on the fucking ship. Yeah, that's that. They actually do that. I can't... But the whole thing with like an asteroid of ice, they've changed that. Rey eventually meets Palpatine, and Palpatine calls her Empress Palpatine and says that she will have to kill him and take his place, and it's like his life essence will transfer to her. So that's why the rule of two is what it is. It passes down through Sith to Sith, I guess. So I guess all the generations of Sith live in Palpatine right now. So But they didn't reference the rule of two. They're just saying that because why the fuck not? They just need the excuse, and it just, oh, it's just so fucking fucked. That's how force transfer works, you know. And it's a similar thing to what they did in Legends, but just the Legends actually wrote it well. So yeah, but back to what's happening in the space ground battle thingamajig. Finn and Jana destroyed the nav thing, which means all the fucking Imperial Star Destroyers just, you know, start getting destroyed. But what Palpatine does is he opens up the thing and he kind of does what he tries to do to Luke and says, "Only you have the power to save them now." And then Kylo Ren fucking, he stole a TIE fighter from the second Death Star that was fucking destroyed. Which means somehow the Death Star isn't completely destroyed despite it fucking looking that way in the fucking film. But that doesn't matter anymore, does it? Logic and consistency is just gone already. We might as well just forget about it now, right? So he comes there to try and help Rey, and then Kylo ends up getting fucked up by the Knights of Ren, or whatever the fuck they are that they're stationed at. I think it's the Knights of Ren, but I could be wrong. And then they use a fucking Skype call again and teleport Leia's lightsaber to fucking Kylo Ren. What? So what happens after this? After forced teleportation of fucking weapons, Sidious realizes that their bond is apparently enough to power himself, so he drains the life essence from both of them, just like that. Just nonchalant. Just sucks the energy out of them. And then it is like repairs his decrepit limbs and his fingers repair. And he then ends up looking like he did in the end of fucking Revenge of the Sith. Then out of nowhere, Lando Calrissian arrives with like 10 million fucking civilian ships, and they just all start destroying the Star Destroyers. Because why the fuck not? I can't imagine how big the budget was for this, but just like 10,000 ships emerge and just start fighting the Imperial Star Destroyers. And then out of nowhere, Kylo is like force grabbed and thrown off of the fucking edge of the whatever the fuck they're on, and it appears like he's died. Woo! And then out of nowhere, Palpatine starts to unleash his unlimited power on the fleet above with this massive, I can't even call it a bolt, just a barrage of force lightning into this fucking sky, and starts shocking all of the ships and destroying some of them and making some of them start to fall downwards and stuff. And then there's this thing that is said, "I'm all the Sith." And then Rey says, in response to this, to Palpatine, "I'm all the Jedi." And then Rey just kills Palpatine, just like that. He brings out, force grabs the lightsabers and blocks the lightning, and apparently that's enough to fucking kill Palpatine. Just like that. The most anticlimactic death ever. They've ruined everything. Every character's destroyed. And then Rey dies. Just from shock, I guess. And Kylo emerges from the depths of hell and fucking uses the force heal thing to fucking... Oh my god, he fucking does what she did to him. And then they're both awake, and then he fucking kisses her. He just... What the fuck? There's a 10-year difference as well. It's mad. Yeah, he just kisses her just like that, and then Kylo dies. Just... just bang. So yeah, Leia becomes one with the Force now instead of earlier for some stupid reason. The First Order is destroyed. Then they all galvanize around the Luke Skywalker X-Wing with Rey inside it, and they fly back. There's an Ewok fucking cameo as well. I didn't mention this earlier, Maz Kanata's there. She's also there to congratulate them and some shit. And then that's it. There's just lots of emotional things. They play Rey's theme. There's all the other themes. Luke and Leia's Force Ghosts, so they're watching them in the distance as the three main characters, if you can call them, hug each other. So Poe, Finn, and the Mary Sue herself, Rey, they just hug each other. Chewbacca's in the background. And I must say, my favourite part of this entire film was Chewbacca's reaction, even though it was like 5 seconds, to Leia's death, and that was it. And then that's essentially pretty much the majority of the film until this last scene, where Rey travels to fucking Tatooine, goes to the last homestead, and oh my god, he goes down there, he explores. I say he. She goes down there, she explores. Then she buries Leia and Luke's lightsabers in the sand with the Force, because what she can. And then makes her own lightsaber. I don't know where she got the crystal from, but she can make her own lightsabers from thin fucking air now. Did J.J. Abrams forget how lightsabers are made in this fucking lore? Apparently not. And she makes the first on-screen yellow lightsaber, which was probably the coolest thing about this entire fucking film. Yes, a lightsaber was made in the live action films. You didn't need to wait for Ahsoka to fucking bring it. No, just have Mary Sue herself do it. And then some random old woman walks by and says, "I don't recognise you. Who are you? What's your name?" "My name's Rey." "Rey who?" "Rey Skywalker." Roll fucking credits. That's this entire dumpster fire. That's how it ends. That's how it begun. That's how it ended. Are you happy? I sure am. Yeah. Oh my fucking god. I didn't drink enough for this shit. When me and my mate went to see this, we had no fucking clue how bad it would be. But oh my god. This is some of the worst cinema I've seen from this decade. Almost every leak came true. Almost everyone. If you saw the Jedi Paxis leaks, then legit pretty much every single one of them were accurate to the teat. Like, I'm done. I've critiqued it, but I don't want to review it. I just don't care anymore. Like, oh, alright, I need to calm down. I'm washing my hands of Star Wars. Continue to watch The Mandalorian with the hopes that they will fix it, because they've ruined that kinda. And the Clone Wars season 7 might potentially be the one good thing to come out of Star Wars, but I kind of doubt it now because Disney. Just I've kind of gone over everything, and this video is becoming a long one. And I'm not fucking Mauler, so let me not go any longer than 40 minutes. But I'll quickly say in this last 3 minutes, what we've witnessed is that money does not buy shit if the quality of the product, in regards to the writing, in regards to the plot, in regards to the direction, cinematography, choreography, acting, in the case of Daisy Ridley, is not top fucking notch. And as we've simply learnt, it is simply not enough to throw money at things. I predicted that fucking Reylo would happen, and that fucking happened. I didn't need leaks for that, but I can't believe that actually happened. I always had a hunch that Rey would be a Palpatine. It turned out to be fucking true. So much shit happened for real, and I'm still just gobsmacked that Disney's allowed this to happen, that Bob Iger's allowed this to happen, and that George Lucas must be laughing all the way to the fucking bank. Bob Iger betrayed him dirtily, and now who's laughing last? It ain't you, Bobby. And Kathleen Kennedy, you fucking piece of work. I hope you're proud. I'm sure she's probably out. She's making bank herself. Imagine all the dicks she sucked to get into power of Lucasfilm, and now look at her. She's fucking destroyed this just once great franchise. It's sad. It really is. Like, all the people who've invested money and time into this, it's just gone to waste, you know? And this is the first time I've gone on opening night to see anything, and I did it to see probably potentially one of the worst films ever made. This is worse than The Last Jedi. This is worse than The Force Awakens, the prequels. This is worse than Game of Thrones season 8, 7, and to some extent 6. It's just terrible. Abysmal. And I don't know what J.J. Abrams was thinking, but he must have been panicking. He must have just tried to do as much as possible and probably did a gamble. Like, you know, he loves his mystery boxes. But he probably pays some people to watch it in a screening, and asked for their opinions on it so he can make the changes that he needed to. Or maybe he did the multiple shoots, you know, where different endings, different middles and stuff to trick people, trick the fake critics, and that's probably where the majority of the money went. And then you have this. This has been a sad day for the film industry, for Hollywood, for the consumers that loved this franchise at one point. But boy, the memes will be fucking godlike. Oh, I can't fucking wait. And I'm gonna try and do a proper review, trying to critique everything in depth, because this has just been me fucking ranting and raging about what happened, as fresh as it could be on my memory, and probably got a couple things wrong, but the majority of things I could remember, and I took some notes in there. I've got them down and recorded what I had to say off the top of my head for like fucking 40 minutes. And here I am. And I just didn't expect it. I knew it would be bad, but this is just. I was like, it couldn't be worse than than TLJ, and it is. It just is. There's not much I can say now. It's shit. It's just no. If I want Star Wars content now, it seems I'm gonna have to watch the Clone Wars. It seems I'm gonna have to pray the Mandalorian increases in quality, and I can play the games that I've modded to make better than any of the fucking pieces of shit that they've made under EA. Like Blade and Sorcery, the one you've been watching in the background, I modded the fuck out of that, and now it's the best Star Wars game ever. I'm gonna do a video on that before I do my critique, probably in the next couple of days, comparing that to Vader Immortal, another shitty Disney product. Just to show that the community actually cares more about Star Wars than fucking writers, the directors, and the fucking people running Lucasfilm and Disney itself. It's a sad day, but it exposes the corporate nature of Hollywood and how it will be its downfall. And I'll fucking be there to make sure it happens. So, I guess I'll see you in the next one, won't I, lads and ladettes? I'm gonna go fucking sober up and... I don't know, maybe some fucking angry sex or some shit, I don't know. It's just fucking ruined me, man. Ah!